Hello, everyone, and welcome to 29th Guwahati MuleSoft Meetup. This is a virtual meetup, and this is a part of Dreamforce 224, where we are going to discuss on IDP solutions, where we are going to discuss different format in that. I will come to the agenda in a later part, but coming to my introduction, so I'm the organizer and speaker for this event along with my co-speaker Mahak and Nikhil. So introducing myself, I'm a MuleSoft ambassador, regional leader for India MuleSoft Meetup. I'm a frequent speaker for MuleSoft meetups and recently made a debut in Slack and Salesforce as well as a speaker. I'm a leader for Guwahati and Lucknow MuleSoft meetup groups, total of 9+ years of experience and 7+ in MuleSoft. I'm a certified development architect. I did industry and GTM champion from MuleSoft. I am a double star ranger in Salesforce. I have a few other certification in Salesforce, Solace, Delbumi, and GCP. I write blogs, create technical videos. I have a channel where I put my technical videos, and I have other channel for my other hobbies. But I also own a patent for developing a portable washing machine. So that's quite about me. Over to you, Mahek.
Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Mehak Batra. I'm working as a senior technical consultant in Salesforce since 1 year, and I'm having overall 5.5 years of experience. Prior to MuleSoft, I have also worked on X-Ray API Gateway and in EDI as well. I'm also Salesforce Double Star Ranger, and I have done multiple certifications in MuleSoft. Uh, that includes your architect certificates as well. Yeah, that's all about me. Over to you, Nikhil.
Hello everyone, I'm Nikhil and I have close to 7 years of experience on MuleSoft. And apart from MuleSoft, I'm also um, a good speaker of German language. So um, if you want to try out some questions in German, please feel free to do that during my section. And I look forward to today's meetup and hoping for an engaging conversation with all of you. Over to you.
Uh, Thank you so much, guys, for accepting my invite and be over here for presenting a session on IDP. So the stage are all yours, Mac.
Yeah. So today's agenda is we will be starting with the introduction to IDP, and then we will be moving for IDP with the platform studio, and we will also see how it works in RPA. Since we will be having the practical session as well, that means demo will be there, and after that we can have some question and answers. First of all, why automation for documents is required? Anyone?
People, you have mic access, so feel free to unmute and discuss anything you want. Let's make it more interactive. This is a session for learning, so we are not judging anyone. So please feel free.
So
To
let's
reduce,
say, Mhm.
yes, Shyam, you can continue.
Oh. So let's say an organization deals with multiple contracts. I mean, customers are signing contracts and they are sending in the form of PDFs. Per day, there is a service delivery team or agent team which is capable of processing, let's say, 10 documents per day. They need to manually look at the documents, extract the data, and then manually fill in the target system. In order to fasten this process, there is a need for an OCR based tool. So MuleSoft came up with IDP. And the number of documents being processed within a day, that will drastically increase. So with the help of automation.
Yeah, I agree with you, Shyam. You took my line as well.
Yeah,
So
Vishal, try. You were saying something.
Yeah, to reduce manual intervention, whoever processing the documents, probably it will help.
yes, yes. Let's say if you are having a paper where you just have two attributes and you just have to extract the values of those attributes, then it will be a very easy task for you. But let's say if you are having a paper where there are hundreds of attributes and you have to extract the values, then it will be a difficult task for you to do it manually. Then automation will be required for sure, right? So as the load will increase, then definitely automation will be required. So before IDP, OCR was already there. So anyone knows when OCR was introduced? Any guesses? Anything? You can unmute yourself and just make a guess.
Any guesses, like which year, probably?
Yeah.
I think
Probably 90s.
before that,
90s? You're saying 1990s?
Yeah.
Okay, Shyam, what you're saying?
70s or 80s during the Apollo program, I feel.
Okay, anyone else? Any guesses? No? Okay.
Okay. So it was there since 1920s. So it was introduced by physicist Emmanuel Goldberg, and OCR is also used for image to text conversion. Right? If you are having some unstructured data, then if you want to make it structured, then you can use OCR. And OCR works on pattern recognition. So here in the diagram also you can see that if OCR wants to uh, understand that it is a character A, then it is converting it to 0 and 1 format first and trying to understand it by using the pattern recognition. Okay? So this is all about OCR. Now, why IDP? Now you have already having this particular tool that is converting your images to the text format. But now you want to do some automation in that. You want to understand the data, right? In that case, you need IDP. So OCR with AI becomes your IDP. That means you are adding a brain to unstructured document or to OCR. Okay. So why? What is IDP basically? Intelligent Document Processing. It uses technologies like OCR. OCR is optical character recognition that we already covered, and then ICR. ICR is your intelligent character recognition. It is similar to OCR but better than OCR. Better in terms of like intelligent than your OCR, because it can work on handwritten text as well. Then NLP, machine learning, and computer vision. These all combines and then create this IDP. So what's the difference between OCR and IDP? We already had that OCR, then why IDP was introduced? So OCR is just for the character recognition, just to do the conversion. That's it. But IDP is more intelligent. After extracting that data, you can do some processing. And even for the extraction of the data, you can add your brain there. And the next part is your OCR works on basic pattern recognition, and IDP uses your advanced AI machine learning technologies. And OCR is just for the simple task, and your IDP is for the complex document processing. Now, let's go deep dive into IDP. So in IDP, first step is you will be adding your document, right? Which you actually want to for you actually want to do the conversion. Right? So what all document types are allowed? So in actual, I have written that multiple document types are there, but in actual you can add any type of the document, because when you will be seeing the screen, there will be three options. One will be for invoices, second one will be for purchase orders, and third will be others. So in others, you can add any generic document. Next is your document format. So in document format, like whatever the unstructured data will be, like your JPG, PNG, PDF. Okay. In future, I think Excel may also be introduced. Next is your languages supported. So English, German, Spanish, Italian is being supported till now. So there are so many competitors of MuleSoft IDP as well in the market. Like Doxomo is there, Awesome is there, Hyperscience, Ebby, and Amazon Text Extract. So we will be comparing IDP with Text Extract as well, because everyone knows that behind the scene MuleSoft uses AWS. So since text extract is a part of your AWS only, then MuleSoft might be using text extract. So what's the difference between text extract and IDP? Why you should go for IDP? So in terms of complexity, text extract is more complex. Like you have to first understand multiple terms and all. But if you are friendly with MuleSoft, then you can directly go for MuleSoft IDP. Next is your configuration effort. Everyone knows that when working with any cloud, might be your AWS, Azure, there are so many configurations that you have to consider. It could be related to networking, port, and all, everything, right? Resource management. So that all will not be your headache. It will be the headache of MuleSoft when you will be using MuleSoft IDP. Next is resource management. Resource management is similar to this configuration effort only, basically. And the user interaction. So when you will be using AWS Text Extract, mostly the things are automated. Like in IDP, when you will do the conversion, after that you can add one reviewer also who will review that the data is converted correctly. Then only you can approve that process. Okay, but in AWS extract it is all automated. Next is integration. As you all are aware that in MuleSoft there are so many inbuilt connectors are there. So integration will be very much easier with MuleSoft IDP because we have connectors for that, and we can easily connect with RPA as well. Post processing automation. It like for post processing automation in AWS Text Extract, it requires a separate setup, but in IDP you already have RPA tools, right? And yeah, related to the flexibility also, as we covered all these points, it also says that MuleSoft IDP is more versatile. Regarding the pricing and licensing, license is like for IDP is a part of your automation bundle. It is a separate license that you have for RPA and your composer as well. So in automation, this automation bundles, you get credits. You can use those credits to use IDP. Okay, and if you talk about specifically for IDP pricing, then it IDP will be charged per document page, not per document. It will be per document page. Let's go to the demo part, but before that, since for now I'm not having access for access management, I can show you what all steps are required before uh, digging into IDP. First, the user first of all you need to have a license, right? Second step will be your user must have these permissions. The first three permissions are related to the IDP, that is the document action related permission. So document action is where you are actually creating a design, where you are saying that this is my document, these values I have to extract, and this is how I'm going to use this particular values and all. Okay, so for that, you have to give these accesses like manage actions, build actions, execute, publish actions. Okay, and in Exchange also you have to give these permissions, because if you are creating a particular asset, that means definitely you will be publishing that asset to somewhere. So in MuleSoft, we publish it to the Exchange. That's why Exchange access will be required. Next is you need to have a connected app. If you want to connect IDP from the external world, from your studio or from RPA, then you need some connections, some credentials, right? So you will be using Auth, and for that you can create one connected app and you can get your client ID and secret. So on behalf of that particular user, you can make a connection to the system and do whatever you want. Okay, so let's start with the IDP. Just give me a second.
Sure. So meanwhile, we're starting with the demo. Anyone have any question? Anything they want to ask till now? What has been explained, or maybe you're just waiting for the demo to get a better understanding of that? No questions?
From
No, Abhishek.
accuracy standpoint,
Sorry, Shyam, come again.
from accuracy standpoint, which
Mhm.
is better, AWS Extract or IDP? I felt like Extract was good.
You're talking about the prompt, the threshold, what we are getting
Hmm.
for that one, right?
Right.
In that, again, we have two things, like which I have also tried. Okay, in our platform, we have that option. So if we have a Einstein AI license in our Salesforce org and our org is connected with platform, so we get an option in IDP for Einstein AI as well, which is more accurate when compared to the pre-provided prompt what we have. So maybe you can try that and see. Still, you feel like the extract is more accurate, or that one help you more, because that one gives more accurate result when I have used the AI functionality.
You mean when we are sending a prompt,
Hmm?
attach the file as well with the prompt?
No, see, when you create IDP, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are some, like there are three options, which again Mahek will show. So when you define a file and the predefined fields are already created, then you have an option for prompt where you can configure it manually. In that prompt, I am asking, telling like that prompt can be more accurate when you are using the AI feature in that.
Got it.
Yeah, Mahek, over to you again.
Yeah. So you can log in into your AnyPoint platform. If you will be having a license, then you will be able to open intelligent document processing, that is IDP. And in IDP, you will be getting three options. First one will be home, where you will be having all your recent document actions, and the second one is document actions, which will be having all your document actions, and third one will be review tasks. Let's say if, that I will be covering later on. Okay, otherwise it will be difficult to explain. So first one is like, if you want to create a new document action, you can just go for it. And here you will get three options. First one is invoice, second one is purchase order, and third one is generic. In generic, you can add any type of document. Okay. So I've already created one, that is Mehak PO. Can show you that. So if you can also open the existing one as I open, and then you can go for edit. Okay, and since the documents that we are adding, we add for the designing purpose, that are not being stored anywhere, so whenever you open it for the editing, it will not show your document again, because it got deleted by itself. It was there only for the temporarily. Okay. Yep. Just a second. So let's say I just selected one document. This is a purchase order. And on the right hand side, you can see there are three tabs. First one is for fields, second one is for tables, and third one is for prompts. Fields will cover all the fields that are already there in IDP for purchase order. Here you can see one I symbol. You can click here so that in the output file, it will not be visible, this particular field. Okay, if you want that should be there, then you can remove this. Okay, table one I will show. First, I have to run this to see the values.
Mahek, that hide that uh, window, like that sharing, stop sharing thing is there, right? At the bottom. Just hide that. Click on hide.
I think there is some issue with my network connection.
That's fine. No worries.
Or else it doesn't take this much of time. Yeah, something is wrong. Let me try once again. Or else let me refresh and then retry. Not sure why this is happening. This should not happen.
That's fine. Like it's a rule whenever you're doing demo.
Yeah, things happen. This is a purchase order and this is a PDF and fields and everything is there. If I run this, if this time also this doesn't happen, then I can show the demo through slides. Sorry for that.
Or
Yeah.
maybe let's wait for a few more seconds.
Meanwhile, could you please check if IDP is down?
Let me see the state.
Something there is with IDP. Yeah. Let's go with the screenshots then. I think some issue is there with my connection or I think my IDP. I'm not sure. We'll cover up this one later on, but here you can see that not values are not found because it was not able to run this one. From the table itself, there is one more option where you can see what all values are there in the table format. Okay, and here also, let's say if I want to give one, I can give some prompts as well. Like if I want to extract this terms and conditions, this is the field name that I provided, and this is the question or the description, you can say, what I provided, and this was the answer. Okay, so I can add a new one as well where I can just provide a name and I can just write a prompt to extract any value that I want. So based on that, I will be getting the values. Now you can see the suggested instructions as well. So it will be behind the scene AI is there, Einstein is there.
Can you show that option again? Can you go up a little bit? So
Yeah.
Shyam, what I was mentioning, right? Like you can have AI feature as well. Go up a little bit, Mac. Up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you toggle that behind not find? There is an option, or not found. There is an
This
option.
one. Yeah.
See, so it is taking by default. It is taking IDP NLP, right? But there is one more option of Einstein because Mahek has got that attached with the platform. So that is what I was talking. Like if you are using that Einstein option, then the threshold is more high when compared to IDP NLP, which can give you more accurate results.
How about configuration?
What configurations?
Connecting with Einstein.
How you need, yeah. So that is like your admin can have connecting your Salesforce org with your platform. There should be an option.
External
Like,
services.
yeah, not external services, but there should be a direct option because I tried it for ACB, where in ACB it asks like if you want to enable Einstein, you need to connect with your org. Okay,
Okay.
so your admin should have that option where they can connect with org directly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Mike, please. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let me go back to the slides. Okay, starting with IDP with the platform that we already covered. Creating a new document. This also we covered that there are 3 types. Next is from here you can upload a file, and on a right hand side you can see these options are available: fields, tables, and prompts. Once your document will be executed successfully, you will be getting the values as well. Okay. And as I mentioned in the prompt also, you can define the field name and the question, basically the description, like based on which you want to extract the value. Okay. And here you can see the confidence threshold as well. So there will be a confidence score with each field value that will be extracted. That is the confidence score of AI. That says that is a confidence score of AI, which says that I am this much confident that this value is correct or not, based on the provided description. Okay. So here you can see that AI is 75% confident that it is extracting the correct value. Okay. So as I mentioned that you can see the values in tabular format as well. So this is the option. And then you can add a reviewer as well. Okay. So there is one more option, that is reviewer. So after like pushing your document and converting it to the text format, if you want to see whether the values are correct or not, you can add a reviewer. You can add your manager as a reviewer. Okay. So this is how the document will be published, and then you can edit it. And there are some quotas and limits. Uh, as I already mentioned, that the accepted formats are PDF, PNG, JPG, and the file size limits is that there is no limit if you are going with the API, and 50 pages per file is allowed, and 10 MB per file is allowed. Okay. And prompt limit, that means you can have 30 extra fields, not more than that. So you can provide 30 prompts maximum for particular for per document, you can say. Okay. And in that prompt also, in the response, 128 characters is a limit. And languages also I already covered, not English, Spanish, German I supported. And polling limits is like, first you will be publishing a document. So there is a cycle. It says that first step is to publish a document, then it will be converted. That means after publishing you will be getting one ID. Okay. Based on that ID you can see whether it got published, it got executed successfully or not, and you will be getting the JSON data. Okay. So in between, minimum 10 seconds will be there. And document retention is like a screen which I opened where I was adding the document. It doesn't store those documents. It is like those are stored only on the temporary basis, so that if you will edit that again, that you will not be able to see that document. Okay. And when I talk about the document action execution endpoint, that means your APIs, basically when you will be hitting through the APIs and you will be sending some documents for which you will be getting the execution ID. So those documents are being stored in S3 bucket. Okay. And that for that the retention period is 7 days if it is reviewed successfully. If it is not reviewed, then it will be for 60 days. Okay. And retention period cannot be configured by the users for now. So this is the same one, that S3 bucket is being used. Supported regions are US and EU, and the data storage location is the closest to your control plane. It ensures your GDPR compliances, and there is one example as well. If your control plane is in EU region, then your data will be stored in Frankfurt data center. Okay. Testing with the Postman, that I can show you. Just a second. So there are 3 steps. First one is to get the token. Okay. So for token, what you need 3 things. First one is the grant type. Second one is your client ID, and then secret. So client ID and secret that we created using the connected app. Okay. And since we are using client credentials auth type here, that's why I've written client credentials. Okay. Once you get this token, then you can create an action. An action, what you can do, you can send one file, uh, and you will be getting one execution ID based on that file. Okay. And in results, you will be able to see the results. Sorry. In action, you have to provide one action ID, the file and the action ID. And in URL also, you can see some URI parameters are there, org ID is there. Okay. And that's it. The token will be provided in the authorization. That's there in the header part. Okay. So you will get this ID. Based on this ID, you can check the results. Okay. So in this result, you can see that I have also provided this action ID and this execution ID that I extracted from my last request. And in the output, you can see that in the status, it is manual validation required because it is not being reviewed. If the document will be reviewed, after that the status will change to successful. Okay. So this is all about like how to connect using the Postman, how to use the APIs. Let me go back to the slides. Okay. If you want to review the document, in the IDP only, you have this review tasks, and here you will get this document. You can review it, submit and done. And after that, the status will be succeeded. Okay. So that was all for IDP with the platform and APIs as well. Okay. Now over to you, Nikhil.
Hello.
Yeah, Nikhil. Uh, Maybe you want to share a screen somehow. You will need to stop sharing. Yep. You can try sharing your screen now, Nikhil.
Hello everyone. So initially for the presentation, Mehak will be sharing the screen, and then I'll be sharing my screen for the demo with Anyfund Studio. So this is a very small PPT that I have, the slide that I have. So it basically showcases what we are going to do with MuleSoft, and it's a very small implementation wherein we are automating the opportunity analysis. Like in the Salesforce, there is a feature which lets you capture the opportunity, and you can upload the invoices. So if they're a customer executive, they'll upload the invoices to those opportunities when they'll close it. So using MuleSoft, we are processing the closed opportunities in the last 30 days. The interval could be anything. And then we are generating the JSON data out of those images for invoice. So in real life, we all have the automobile, be it a bike or a car. So at times I've seen that the customer executives there, they'll create an opportunity once you kind of request for a service or show your interest to buy a vehicle, and then when you buy the vehicle, they'll close the opportunity and upload the invoices for the vehicle. So you could think on the similar lines for this implementation. Now let me share my screen and show you um, how we are going to achieve that using the MuleSoft. So first, let me share the studio. I hope you all are able to see the studio screen. So here in the studio, we have this flow, invoice data sync flow. So initially we'll be querying the closed opportunities. So this is the basic query connector. which is offered by the Salesforce for querying the opportunities in between the dates that we have supplied. And I've limited the opportunities to 10 for the time being, but you can customize it as per your preference. And then whatsoever the number of opportunities get pulled off, we are going to iterate over all of those. And then we are going to get the document associated with that particular opportunity. And then we are going to query the Salesforce once again. And this is the query. So in this query, we'll be extracting the document ID and the content document link and the linked entity and ID, which we'll be using for fetching the further data. So after we have fetched the content document link, we are going to create this query. So this is going to be a REST call. So basically, I also wanted to showcase that we could connect to the Salesforce using both the query connector as well as the REST APIs. And here we are going to fetch the content document version data URL. So using this version data URL, we'll be further fetching the document. And prior to that, I'm just getting the token to connect to the Salesforce. And then in this request, I'm sending this request which we have created. And here I'll be extracting these. So whatever you see this as this query parameter is going to be executed on the Salesforce, right? So it'll give me the ID, version, data, URL, title from the content version table, where the document ID will be whatever I have fetched previously. So once I have gotten the data URL, then I'll be fetching the actual document. So it will give me the data. Then I'll convert it into the binary. So it will be giving me in the octet stream. And then after converting into binary, I'll convert it into form data. So IDP accepts the form data format for the data that we send, and we are supposed to send it in this format. And this is pretty much the standard in the file exchange. We use the form data to send the data. And this is the connector which is used to publish the data to the IDP. So let me quickly sync this. So these are the dates interval which I have provided. Now I've sent the request. And here I can also show you whatever I have just told you. I've launched it in the debug mode. So you can see we have got two opportunities matching this criteria. And then we are going to iterate over each opportunity. So first we are going to get the document link, basically the document ID. So now we have the document ID with us. And we can check that in this payload. So these are the details that were fetched. So this is the document ID. And then now we are going to get the create that version URL here. And then let me send it across. So just create, here we are just creating this query. And then this is for the retrieval of token for connecting to Salesforce. In this step, I'm going to get the download URL. And then here in this step, I'm going to get the document. Now that I have the document, you can also see here, this is the octet stream. So this conversion is required for pushing the data to IDP. And now I have the data in the binary format. So it will be pushed across to the IDP. I've just sent the request across. Now it has come again over here to process the other documents. So I'll just continue. Also, we have 3 documents there. So the second opportunity was having 2 documents. So this time, this for each basically iterates over all the documents that an opportunity has. This for condition is for the opportunities, and this one is for all the documents that we have inside of each opportunity. So we'll push the third document as well. So after we have pushed the data, we get this kind of response. So here basically just for the sake of showcasing the features of IDP, I'm just logging in back to this Postman call, the ID and the document name. So I'll grab the document and the ID name, and then I'll check the import status for these. I guess that is also in debug, yeah. So I'll send it across, and here is the response. So in this response, you could see that it says manual validation required. So this usually comes when the IDP threshold doesn't meet the criteria which we have specified. Now let me show you the platform where we could see what is the action required there. So let me stop sharing my screen and share again. Yeah, so let me quickly refresh it. So these are couple of previous tasks that are in the pending state, and these 3 are the basically ones which we've just processed, right? So on each page you could see what is the reason for that manual intervention which we've just seen. So if I click on this, it will also highlight the field which need the action. So it says the signatures are found in the page, but the percentage it is confidence is 71.53%. So the reviewer, which we've added as Mac was showing previously, so the reviewer will have to either reject it or mark it as done. So here I'll just mark it as done, and these are the other documents. So here also we could see like this is the field where the threshold is less, and this is the other field. So I'll mark as done for these as well. And this is my third document. So here the threshold is 80% for this document action which we have created, but we can also make it less. And moreover, it also learns over the time. This IDP, its threshold keep on increasing if you kind of process the similar documents over the time. And when you mark as done, so it starts understanding that these are the actual documents, and that's how it's supposed to interpret these. So that is one thing. And now let me show you the Postman once again, and this time we'll be able to see the response. Let me stop sharing and start sharing the Postman. Yeah, I guess last time maybe you were not able to see the Postman. So this was the request I had sent for the synchronization, wherein I had passed the from date and to date, and this was the manual validation required, which we had seen previously. Now, if I send the request again, this time it will show the status as succeeded because we have marked the document as done, and I'll also yeah. So this time it shows succeeded, and now we have got the JSON data for all the fields which we were seeing there in that PNG. So this is how we are able to extract the fields out of the document and then maybe use them for the analytics or store them in some DB for further references. Um, so any questions with respect to this integration we have seen?
Nikhil, can you show one example via Postman fetching the table data, how it comes?
Yeah. So, Sham,
Mhm.
this is the table data that we have. So, the table data, if I, so there in the table we have the quantity, description, unit price, and amount, right? And you can check here the description. So here you are able to see how
Oh, so
we,
tables is a root key and then got it.
yeah.
So in a row-wise fashion it comes, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So we have 3 rows in that document,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a displaying that each row as an object
Yeah,
um, here in the table one array.
right. So once we push any document to IDP
Hmm.
and it falls under a particular threshold, then
Hmm.
it will go into the human in the loop, correct?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
that's
it
right.
won't.
Yeah, that's correct.
So now let's say we want to extract 10 fields out of a particular PDF. Okay.
Hmm.
And the threshold came really below for, let's say, two of the fields. Okay.
Hmm.
Do we have the option to cross check all the 10 fields, or it will just show only those two fields?
So as of now, you can see the fields which have not exceeded the threshold in the platform, and if there is a field
Mm-hmm.
for which the threshold is already above the limit, right?
That won't be
So
displayed.
yeah. So that's kind of implicitly you can make it out that if the field doesn't show up there,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that means its threshold is above that, above 80. I mean,
Okay. So let's say if you want to have 100% accuracy,
hmm.
then keep every field's threshold to 100%, and anything fails, it will be coming in human in the loop.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Uh, One last question. You had a retrieve token flow, that flow reference, right?
Yeah.
You are using Salesforce connector, right? The first query connector to Salesforce org.
Hmm.
Second seems like you are using some Trailhead Playground, right? That org.
Yeah. So for both the, let me share my studio. So
Mm-hmm.
for both the integrations, right? I'm using the same Trailhead Playground,
Okay.
and let me share
Like
this
how
screen.
that authentication is working, I just wanted to check
Sure.
token flow. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is out of the box feature of the Salesforce. You can make a call to the org. So
Mhm.
this is the token flow, and I'm passing in the token request, and it gives me back the auth token. So this one I'm constructing here. I'm passing in the grant type password, the client ID secret, the username, and the password. So this is the playground org that I have, right? So
Got
this
it.
this is what I have here.
Okay. So you created a connected app in Salesforce as well, right? Via App Manager.
This one is a little different from the connected app of MuleSoft, I believe.
Salesforce one, right?
Yeah. And there are some limits to it. Like you can only query it certain number of times.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm making the REST call or these query connections, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are some requests like 3,000 maybe per day or 30,000 per month that you could make to the Salesforce org. So that is another thing you should.
That's depend like what subscription you have for Salesforce org. How far I believe like it's such a sandbox production, and there are API limitations like how many calls you can make per day to that Salesforce org.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. So for this playground org, it's somewhere around 30,000 or 3,000 per day kind of.
Cool. So Vishal has one question. Maybe you can address that, Nikhil, or maybe I can. So what is the connector we used? Connector available in the exchange.
Yeah, that's correct.
So
So
Vishal, like we have two options. One is the Postman approach, the API portal, what Nikhil has shown. Okay, another is like whenever you create a document action and you publish that, that get published in the exchange, and that can be used as a connector for that particular version what you have published. Okay, and
Okay,
that is what Nikhil has also used in his demo.
understood.
Your next question regarding the structure, again, like it's a JSON and it's come in a particular structure. What you can do is you can just define the fields what you want. You can change the JSON structure which is already present over there.
So I can do that in the document actions, right?
In the document, yeah. So whatever you define in the document actions, like whatever field you want as
Okay,
output, you
okay,
need to do it in document action, and later on, if you want to change it, you can change it. But the version of your action will change. So now, suppose you have created for the first time that is version 1.0.0. Now you have published it. Okay. Later on, you identified okay, you need few more fields, so you need to remove few fields. So you went back, you edited, you
okay,
do the changes what you want, and you published again. So that creates a new version that is 1.1.0. You cannot delete the older version like in Cloud 2. Whenever we deploy, what happens? Like you get a period of 7 days where you can remove that particular version and you can create again. Okay,
correct.
but that still creates some cache. Like if you use the same version, it is going to give you the same output what was present earlier. Okay, but there is a provision you can delete. But here in IDP, even though you delete it from your exchange, you can still have that output for that version. So whenever you create a new version, uh, you need to use that version, and a asset will be created with respect to that version. Okay, so that in short term I can say very tightly coupled with your with your document action and the asset. So
Okay,
if you want to be loosely coupled or if you want to be more flexible, then go with the API portal approach, what the URLs we have with the Postman one. Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Cool.
Abhishek, I had one more thing.
Yeah.
So once Nikhil was manually reviewing those documents, right, and there was a green check mark
Mhm.
once he reviewed those documents.
Mhm.
Where do that documents get stored?
Where do that document get stored? So ideally, everything gets stored in the S3 bucket, okay,
Mm-hmm.
at the backend. But whenever you upload something, as Mehak has already explained that, like whenever you upload and create, it doesn't store anything anywhere. Okay, that JSON or that format gets stored maybe in your Exchange, okay,
Mm-hmm.
but the files get stored in your S3 bucket.
Okay. So, like whenever we are dealing with this kind of use case,
Mhm.
so we can go with like two approaches only, right? One can be a scheduler based, and another can be incorporate queue.
A trigger based.
Queue, right? Bring in any point time queue or any such queue.
Event driven architecture, you're saying?
Yeah.
Either EDA or a batch processing kind of thing, like a scheduler based. But you can also have a triggered on demand if you want that. Like many times, what we do, even though we have scheduler, we keep a trigger so that if I need to manually process that or get a data, I can do
Mhm.
that. So in
Is there a
all the
provision for webhook?
webhook, uh, webhook
So
can be in this.
IDP will notify me when the document is ready.
No, I haven't come in that perspective where we can have that webhook till now. Like even though there is a polling time, like there is a whole time of 10 seconds. Like once you upload a file, you need
Mhm.
to wait for 10 seconds so that you get the output. Okay, I
Mhm.
haven't came across any webhook where IDP can let me know, okay, your data is done, you can pull it. You need to keep on pinging your IDP and see if that is done or not. Yeah, Nikhil have something, he is unmuted.
Mm. think webbook would have been good. So it is like you are going to pizza shop and again asking to that whoever
Yes,
is preparing, right?
yes, right. Like
Doing
the
that in
circuit
Windows.
breaker in
Correct.
MQs, where you need to keep on pinging and see whether the error has been went off or not.
Correct.
Same way. Yeah, Nikhil, you want to add something?
One thing I wanted to confirm, Sham, the EDA thing you were mentioning. So your question was with respect to the processing of the documents with the IDP, like
Mm-hmm.
how we should use it. Uh,
Correct.
I didn't get the question. If you could just explain.
So whenever we are solving automation problem of this IDP related use cases, right?
Hmm.
So I mean, customer won't be having like we cannot give customers a REST API, right?
Hmm.
And hit this endpoint whenever you want to do. I mean, that can be a case for one two documents, but considering automation, there can be uh, like polar based or queue based mechanisms, right? To
Hmm.
process the documents as and when they are ready to be I mean, ready with from the perspective of IDP
Hmm.
reviewed.
So
That
yeah, IDP kind of find its implementation in multiple places. So it could be customers, it could be businesses. Like the scenario I was quoting was specifically for the automobile or the service agents, for
Mhm.
instance. And
Right.
you can also have the similar implementations for the customer executives, right? So obviously we'll need some interface to capture the data from the customer executives or specifically in this scenario which I was showcasing. So customer executives are usually familiar with the Salesforce interface, wherein they create the opportunities or they put in the data with respect to the customers they are servicing in the Salesforce. So from the point of interaction perspective, it could be the Salesforce in this scenario, but there could be other interaction platforms as well. Like um, let's say, for instance, you can take the example of um, customer facing, right?
Mm.
Basically, what it supports right now, right? It is the invoice or the purchase orders.
Mm.
So invoice and purchase order finds its implementation mostly on the customer executive side, because they'll be uploading those like if we take in the normal world scenario, if I buy something, I just get the invoice and
Mhm.
then I get back home. I might not be interested in the analytics, or I cannot think of any platform which offers me the this um, this option to view at the items I have purchased or the costing of those items, right?
Yeah.
So this is specific scenario was basically for the customer executives, but in future, when the IDP expands itself and it also supports the Aadhaar card or maybe the PAN card kind of verification or the insurance verifications, right?
Mhm.
Insurance one I could think of, right? The customer facing, wherein we go and upload our bills from the hospitals in terms of invoices which are generated from the hospitals. So there we again have a portal for that insurance company where we upload the documents. So in today's date, if there is a executive sitting out there, he'll have to manually go and check each document. What was the name of the surgery that has happened, or what were the items which were charged for, right? But this IDP, it automates that stuff, and customer executive can maybe analyze 100, like just oversee kind of thing, like not oversee but analyze like maybe 100 documents in a go. They could look for like if all the documents which were uploaded had this surgery mentioned in the table item, right? If somebody is uploading an invoice for, let's say, certain surgery like appendicitis, so it might be having certain terms in the items, right? So if
Mhm.
that is mentioned in the invoice, so that is how you could think of from the implementation perspective that it might find in today's date. And again, that is from the user interface perspective, and then processing perspective. the question which you were having, like if we should have the batch processing or the event. So it depends on the load as well. Like what is the load from the customer, or how many consumers are there. So on the
Right.
basis of that, we can work out on the internals of it.
Correct. Does it have a direct connectivity from IDP to any point MQ?
IDP to any point MQ.
Mhm.
In today's date, we'll have to involve MuleSoft, I believe, and Abhishek and Mac, you can concur, or others can also.
We can. I think we can discuss that maybe at later point, Shyam, at the end. Let me take with the RPA so that I can complete that, and then we can take that up discussion.
Yeah, we are also running out of time. Sorry.
Fine, we'll discuss that. But let me share my screen very quick. Let me know if you can see my screen. And before going to the RPA part, just giving an overview like what Mike was trying to do with the file. So this is my IDP where I can run this out to extract the data, where also I have a prompt for the terms and condition. So this is how it is getting all the data. Okay. For signature, Shiva, as you asked, it doesn't give what is written, but it gives it is present or not. My prompt, it doesn't found anything because the question which I gave might not it has understood. But if you see the Einstein part, there is a confidence of 99%. Okay, and if I use that, it is giving me some output or like for that terms and conditions. So coming to your Shyam point for text tract, and when I said about Einstein, so this is what the accuracy we get. Okay, and once you publish this create an asset in Exchange, which you can see over here. Okay, and then in your studio you can use this asset. Okay, you can import this asset, and that you have two part, post and get. The post is one where you will upload your file, from where you will get an execution ID, and then in post you can put that ID. So you can get your action ID from here. So if you want to do it in Postman, so how you'll get your action ID or the version you may know. So this is your action ID from the asset you can get. This is your org ID. Okay. So this is how it works. And now let me go to the RPA part.
Abhishek,
Yes.
sorry, how did we get that Einstein option there? Do we need any different subscription to get that option?
You need to have license in your Salesforce org, and your platform should be attached to
Okay,
that.
okay, got it.
Okay. Cool. So IDP with RPA. So anyone have tried RPA till now? Like any idea you have?
Yeah, I have given it a try, Abhishek.
Okay. Anyone else? I know Shyam, you might have also tried few things apart from that.
No, nothing with RPA.
Nothing with RPA. Okay, cool. Fine. So let me give a brief about RPA first to provide a context like what is RPA. So RPA is used for automation, basically like the stuff where you want not to have much of human interaction or intervention, and like if we automate this process, then that should go well. Okay, you can have bots for that where you want to create your automation. You can use RPA over there. So just I'm giving a very lame example. Suppose you have a folder, from one folder you need to keep your file to some other folder, and then you have a API deployed in MuleSoft where you want to trigger it manually whenever the file has been moved from one place to another place. Okay, so what it will do is it will move the file from say folder A to folder B, and when the file is there in folder B, you went to your platform and you have triggered an application. Okay, maybe using an HTTP, or maybe you have created a scheduler, but you are still running that manually, for example. So what you can do is you can use RPA in that way where you can record that complete process, which is a recursive process, like a same process every day. You can use RPA over there, you can record that, and then that will get automated. Okay, so in RPA we have four different steps or pillar, we can say. One is the manager, the recorder, the builder, and bot. Okay, so manager is a cloud application. Okay, similarly like our endpoint platform. Okay, this is where you design your RPA. Okay, you build it. Build in the sense there is a phase. Okay, you design it, you publish it, and you active your boats in manager. So it is a cloud application. The rest three of them, recorder, builder, and boats, this are on-prem, which works only on Windows as of now. Okay, it works only on Windows system. It doesn't work for Mac. So recorder is a recorder tool which helps you to record that process what we have discussed. So once you record that, you can bring that in your builder to build the flow. If you want to do any modification or give any instruction, you can do that. And once the builder is done, you can publish it to your manager where it will activate the bots. Okay, so that's what the overview of RPA is. The life cycle, like there are some requisites where you install the on-prem softwares. Okay, you use the manager to create or to design the flow you want. You evaluate. Okay, so now earlier it was just evaluate, but now it is broken into evaluate and process. Earlier the process was a part of evaluate, so now there are separate evaluate and process. In evaluate, what you do is you check the metrics. So now suppose I have a use case, you will check the metrics that use case is uh, quite good enough to be created with your RPA to have a bot. Okay, so there you provide a metrics, but if you are sure 100%, okay, I need this use case, then you can go directly with the process. Then you design it, you build, you test, you deploy it in a manager, and then you monitor. Okay, so let me take to you the platform. Again, for RPA, you need a separate license, because once you click to RPA, it takes to you different platform, which is a RPA manager. So you need to have a credential for that. So you need to have a license for that. This is my RPA manager, where if I need to create a process or evolution, I can do it from here. So I have created a process. Also, you can share it with your teammates, like my colleague has done with me. He has created a process and he has shared with me. So now I also have the access to do any changes to that particular process. Okay, so I have created a process. From here, you can download the recorder, builder, and bot. Okay, so you don't need to go anywhere else. Everything is present in the manager. Now, if I open the process, so I need to create a process, so that once I create it, then I can submit that to my RPA builder, where I will actually create a flow out of that. Okay, it's loading. Okay, so what I did is, like, I have created a process, I have designed a process, and then I have moved it to build. It's fine if it is not complete. Okay, you just need to give something over here so that you can design it in your RPA builder, and it need to be in build phase if you want to see that in your RPA builder. Okay, so this is how this looks, and once everything is done, you can move it to test and production. Okay, now coming over here, so this is what you create the process, then you start the automation to move it to build phase. Okay, your design. Now in RPA, we have different options for OCR, okay, in which we will be showing IDP. Now we have few others as well. Each one of them have their own strategic process, okay, or consumption. Then this is how your builder looks like. We created a flow, and there are some configurations, which again, Mac will show. So Mac, I'm stopping my sharing, and you can show the RPA builder.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen.
Too much echo.
Yes, Abhishek.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so this is where you have, like, once you design and move it to build. So in this, there is an option, okay, for repository explorer. So you need to log into your builder with the same credential what you use for manager. Use it, then you come to repository explorer, where if you refresh, you will get the process what you have created. Okay, so in this, we have one process in the middle, which is IDP POC, where we have done our configuration for taking the IDP connectors we have in RPA, which we have used. And using that, we are uploading the file, taking from a folder from this particular window machine, moving it to the asset what we have created in platform. Okay, putting the file over there, exporting the file to that particular connector, waiting for 10 seconds or maybe few more. Again, depends, like 10 seconds is something which we need to wait, because that there is a polling time we need to wait. If we don't use this sleep, or if we don't wait, it is not going to give us anything. Okay, so we have wait for that, and then we are retrieving the result whatever we have for that particular file, and then we have wrote that to our text file in this particular in our window machine as only in a particular folder. You can also, if you want to send it to some HTTP output, you can do that. You can use a HTTP connector over here. Okay, but to make it simple, we have only shown like how the IDP connector can be used. Now the first thing is to connect with this connectors. You need to have a connection connected apps, okay, which you can configure. So for that, what you need to do is, if you go to that hamburger sign over there is active parameters. Okay, in this there are different options you will get for the first time when you will add parameters. When you will click in this, you can choose the add connected app credential, and you can put your connections over here. Once you do that, you also need to add this in your palette, which is this active parameter option. Okay, so that is visible whenever you are doing your connections with your IDP connector. Okay, this is mandatory thing which you need to do. Is apart from that, if you want any other thing, again depends on your use case. Okay, once you do that in the active workshop or the active workflow, I need to iterate over some file. Okay, so my file is created somewhere in a folder. Okay, so first of all, I will give the location of that folder, and I can give some name. I can give a wildcard name so that whatever is there, I can pick that up. Okay, but I need to give a location where my file is if I'm doing it from a local location. Once I do that, then I will use my submit connector. In this submit connector, you need to give your connected app credential at the end. You can see authorization or authentication, and then for post, you don't have execution ID, but you have an action because you have already created an asset in your exchange. So this will pull your asset from exchange. It will pull the version what you have used. The directory path and file name is something which I'm getting from my file configuration which I've used. Okay, so already showed like there is an iteration file which I have used. So I'm taking the dynamic value from there. Then I have a sleep, okay, of some like 30 seconds so that I can wait until it process. And once that is done, the execution ID, what I will get as a result from the submit, okay, I will use that in the execution ID option. Again, that is something you can see in the screen. And here again, you need to define like what was your action and the version you have used and the credential, the connected app credentials. Once everything is done, depending on you, you want to create a file out of this or you want to send it somewhere using the HTTP. Okay, you can do the configuration. And then once you run it, it will create the file, the desired file, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Show you that
yeah.
in input document I added this particular template. So for now output docs is empty, and let me just go back.
Now you have both options for run and debug. As Mehak is running, but there is option for debug as well, where you can have execution point and you can see like how that is working. Like if there is any error, it will stop at that point and it will give you like what is the error and you can rectify that. So it is still running. So the screen is blank, but once it is executed completely, you will get the file over here and it will go back to your RPA builder.
Now we can check, and we got the file.
Yeah. So this is exactly what you are getting in your Postman as well, the JSON format. Now you can use it as you want. And in the RPA builder, you will see there is also a console at the end where you can see what has happened. Okay, what all things you have done. It will see you that run results. So this is very simple, very quick, how IDP can be used in different aspects. How you do the document action, uh, how you use Postman or the connectors can be used in studios, and how you can do RPA with that. Okay. If you have any question now, we can take any question you have.